Hey, it's Marek. I'm in Prague, in Czech Republic this week. I'm here to speak at the National Library Congress. This is my first time in the country, obviously the first time in Prague, so I'm very excited. I arrived yesterday night. Today was a day off for me, so I decided I need to do some sightseeing. What would someone like me do? I first asked ChatGPT for an itinerary, which it created. It's a decent itinerary. I think one or two places are not that good. Maybe one of them is hallucinated. Let's say the itinerary is 90% correct. Now imagine what would happen if I handed over the outcome of ChatGPT to another tool that would check if any of those places require reservations or tickets. Imagine that tool would also be 90% correct. And then imagine that next tool would hand over the list of tools the list of places that require reservation or tickets to the third tool, and that third tool would also be 90% correct at, let's say, booking those places or buying tickets. So 90% times 90% times 90%, that gives us just over 70% correctness. That's not really good. And this is what last week's The Economy of Algorithms article is all about, and I'm going to read it to you. The title is Compound Failure: Why AI Agent Workflows Keep Failing. Large language models are like that colleague of yours who is very smart, has read a lot of books, and is always happy to help, except they occasionally take recreational drugs and you never know when. If you saw me speak recently, you've heard that line. It's a powerful, even if not entirely scientific metaphor that helps people have the right mindset towards Gen AI. Treat Gen AI as powerful and assume it can be confidently wrong. Take hallucinations. Even top-tier models will fabricate facts. Many reports put hallucinations at double-digit levels. The industry is struggling to reduce bullshit, but experts mostly agree that with current approaches we might never achieve hallucinations-free Gen AI. In a post last year, I argued that hallucinations aren't always unwelcome. Creativity has its place. Here, though, let's assume hallucinations are an unwanted behavior. In a copilot setup, or simply a Gen AI chat, this is manageable. The process is as follows. Human prompts, model responds, human inspects, errors get spotted, the response is improved through a follow-up prompt, and course corrections are applied. This AI creation, when paired with human curation, yields outstanding outcomes. Together, the pair routinely beats either actor alone in quality. In 2025, however, the conversation has shifted to AI agents and AI agent workflows. These AI agents run on the same core technology, large language models, but they operate differently from copilots. Instead of a back and forth with humans, they run tools, hand work to other agents, and execute multi-step workflows. See, for instance, AI agent orchestration patterns for examples of such complex workflows. Now, remember our occasionally high colleague? Multiply by 10 and remove the supervisor. What could go wrong? Everything. An agent that might be high, calling an agent that might be high, calling an agent that might be high. It's literally a telephone game, even worse. It's a telephone game where each player can speak with absolute confidence and clarity, even when it's wrong, and there's no adult in the room. Compound interest, but in reverse. There's a saying, wrongly attributed to almost everyone, including Einstein, Rockefeller, and Warren Buffett, that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Regardless of who coined it, it is a magical force that turns small investments into fortunes through exponential growth. Copilots are what compound interest looks like in AI. A proper back and forth with a human makes quality go up with each pass. You prompt, the model drafts, you correct, add constraints, and steer. The next draft is better because the system now includes your judgment, domain rules, and contexts. Errors shrink, instructions sharpen, and output improves. Do 3 passes, and quality doesn't just add, it multiplies. Compound improvement. In AI agent chains, it has its evil twin, compound failure. The same mathematics, but working against you. An agent that's 90% correct, calling an agent that's 90% correct, that's roughly 81% correctness now. Add a third 90% correct agent to the chain, and we're down to 73%. Line up 15 agents like that, and the result will be correctly only roughly 21% of the time. The reliability of a sequential AI workflow is a product, as in multiplication, of the individual agent reliabilities at each step. Each agent doesn't just add risk, it multiplies it. Now, you, a sharp reader, might object, but some agents could catch and correct errors from previous ones. True, but that assumes your error-checking agent is somehow more reliable than your error-making agent. It's turtles all the way down, except the turtles are high and on roller skates. The optimistic bit, we can flip the math. Either 1. Raise per agent reliability via architectures that constrain variance, independent verification layers, and checks by heterogeneous models, or 2. Reset the chain with human verification steps that stop errors from compounding. If you're a small business, you probably won't build new architectures yet, that's AI research territory, but you can absolutely do the second one today. Start by limiting autonomous hops to just a couple and adding a human sign-off before money moves, decisions are approved, or anything goes public. Do either of these two well, and suddenly compound failure becomes manageable, not fatal. 10, 90, 35. Let's look again at the bit of math that should keep CTOs awake. Imagine a tidy sequence of 10 agents, each one 90% reliable. On paper, that sounds fine, until you multiply them. 90% 10 times gives you roughly 35% end-to-end reliability. In other words, for every 3 runs, 2 disappoint. Even shorter chains don't save you as much as you'd hope. 6 agents at a respectable 95% each land you under 75% overall. Would you sign off on a process where 1 in 4 outcomes is wrong? That tidy multiplication is the rosy case because it assumes independence. Each mistake is fresh and uncorrelated. Real systems don't behave that politely. The same flawed assumption can echo from step 1 to step 6. The same brittle tool can misfire in the same way. Your checker, trained the same way as your maker, can miss the same flaw. Correlation will drag the totals down further than the clean equation suggests. Even tiny error rates balloon with depth. 1% error rate per step sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Stack 100 steps and only about 37% of runs will survive intact. 0.99 to the power of 100 is roughly 0.37. Your agents don't need recreational drugs to fail. Mathematics alone guarantees it. You can see the market signal already. Copilots, so human in charge, one hop, visible output, are thriving. I don't even need to mention ChatGPT's or Claude's growing usage. Everyone knows that. GitHub Copilot, massive success. Microsoft Copilot, I might think it's not very good, but it's still growing fast. Complex or autonomous agent systems? Cricket sounds. Or more specifically, pitch decks, demos, YouTube videos, but no real-life use cases. And please prove me wrong. In my research group, we keep looking for real-life examples. My point isn't to scare you off. It is to give you a design constraint. Treat 10, 90, 35 or a similar set of numbers as a warning. 10 steps at 90% reliability means a 35% success rate. What is your number? 2, 95, 90? 3, 99, 97? Push per agent reliability, build smarter architectures, and add reliable checks, or break the chain with human verification gets before errors can snowball. How to tame the evil twin? There's a short-term and a long-term approach here. Right now, favor patterns that keep humans involved, not just in the loop, whatever this means, but really truly in the workflow. Stick to copilots where you can. When you do use agents, make them one and done. One agent, one task, one human checking the output before anything irreversible happens, just like you use or should be using ChatGPT. If you wouldn't trust it to run a Taco Bell's drive-thru, 18,000 water caps, anyone? Don't trust it to run your business, and cap the workflow chains for now. No more than 3 autonomous hops before a human gate. Next, and this is for the techies in your organization, build toward architectures that raise per-agent reliability and reduce variance. Redundancy and voting can help, but only if the voters aren't clones. If you ask GPT-5 to check GPT-5's output, you've created a very confident echo chamber. Groupthink, anyone? Add independent verification layers so the checker doesn't inherit the maker's errors. And yes, bring humans into the workflow deliberately. Not because it sounds responsible, but because supervision is the cheapest way to reset the chain before errors compound. Vendors will try to sell you past the math. Let them try. Keep the $100 a month tool that saves your assistant 4 hours each week. For the $50,000 autonomous agent orchestration platform, ask for their cascade decay calculations. If they can't show you how a string of 95s stay reliable, you're not buying an agent platform. You're buying a demo. Until someone tames compound failure, either by engineering higher per-step reliability or by inserting human verification gates at the right moments, the most advanced AI strategy isn't more autonomy. It's less autonomy per workflow, fewer hops, clear quality gates, strong verification. That's how we get from clever demos to agentic workflows that actually work. So that's the article. Now, how was my Prague sightseeing? I decided not to follow ChatGPT at all. I have a friend here. I gave him a call and he met me in the morning and we spent the entire day walking around the beautiful Prague. So perhaps sometimes it's better not to rely on AI at all and engage in more human connection. Till next time, stay curious.